All right, so I guess we are live. So agenda would be very small. I'll be doing this live to be a very small. I will build the explore screen today. Uh, it is apparently a small task because we already have the home screen covered. So this is ideally the home screen that we had built. We're following this Figma design. We'll just build the explore screen today and then shoot this live off. The next lives will be again longer ones containing our entire builds and all. Like this as well builds and all, but apparently of a smaller size, not of as big as we usually do for a couple of hours, 3, 4 hours, not as big as those would be. I hope I am audible. Yeah, I think I am audible and it should not be a problem any longer. We'll start with it. We'll be building the explore screen right now. I'll keep the Figma design aside or maybe on the screen only so we can refer this. You guys would also be able to see that. Uh, we will continue with the explore screen. So from the last slide, the only changes that I have done is introduced a font. That was the first change. So we changed the default font to a Google font. We installed, as you can see over on the terminal, I installed a font and then changed it. So that was the first change. Apart from that, the only changes were this assets. Apart from that, we did not make any change. These were only the changes that were done. Yeah, and a few colors, border widths and all, just to replicate the Figma. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the explore screen. I would recommend to show you the article as well on explore. So we actually are in sync of what we are doing. So creating a screen on explore. We are using AI to a very minimal scale right now, just so I do not just want to see a screen, but a second screen. Where do I see the article to that? Um, okay, index.ts, that's fine. I just want to show you the article and I want to highlight the important aspects from the article. So we are in sync of what is actually the thing that I'm trying to showcase or, you know, build with you. I will have to look for it. Mm, add navigation. This should have it because we're creating. So it is telling us to add a new screen to the stack. Just create a screen name. So in Expo, as it is similar to a lot like the Next.js folder based routing, we'll be doing that only. We'll create a folder and that would create the screen for us as much as I remember. And if I do index.tsx over here and I export a about screen, it should ideally get me the about screen as well. I should not be doing an external change. I will be using autocomplete, which really makes the thing a lot easier. So we do not have any errors. That's a good sign. Apart from this, we will have to copy. I'm just making it over onto the explore screen, this all a button. So it becomes a lot visual or whatever we'll do. So I'll go to the bottom nav. I'll make this a link. Nav items. Hyper reference. Can we pass on a hyper reference to? Can we do this? No, I don't think. We'll have to use the on press wala thing only, as cursor is suggesting. On press router dot push item dot key. We'll have to bring router as well, right? Where do I bring router? Here. Let's do it here. Input router. This is the best way to do it, right? We do not have a explore route, I guess. Let us do it to the about one only. So this is not a production practice, but I'm just trying to test it out. Yeah, so we have the about one active. I'll add hyper reference over here just in case for the future. So even in the future, we have to keep the name and it different. So we have it already created. Mm, and it should not be about. I should ideally make it uh, explore. This is how we do it, right? Okay. So if I follow back to the design, yeah, this is the design. So we are having this one, this blue colored background. So we cannot ideally be using screen constraints or the safe area view. So we cannot use that. What we will rather do is, yeah, so we'll position it as per that. So we cannot, if we cannot, so I'm not sure if you guys are able to see or not, but there is, how do I zoom? I probably cannot zoom, but there is a UT visible over here. I'll change the color so you guys can see it at least. We have native build installed, so I can just directly pull over the Tailwind classes. I don't think it's responding, so I'll just the styles for now. We'll debug it surely, but not right now. I'll change the font color. How do I give color now? Color, I'll give red. For red, what is the hex code? Red hex code. This would have been a lot easier if we were using AI, but then there's no point of doing it that way, right? Because if you're using AI at the end of the day, then we lose our abilities to code, and that differentiates us from that really differentiates me being a recruiter. I have a good idea of when I want to hire a particular candidate, and I would suppose this channel would be receiving mostly, uh, those kind of folks like, how do you name them? The freshers probably. So I would like to keep it intended towards them, so they at least have some or get some value from me. So if we go back to here, we are not using the bottom nav over here. Let me see how does it create a difference. So if we are not using bottom nav over here, it would not reflect over here. So we should ideally be using the bottom nav here, and I'll just replace it with from here. Yeah, I think we don't need it here. This should not create an error. Okay, so we not have an error, but the only difference is its interaction, which I will do later. For now, let's just keep it simple. Or should I do it right now? Let us keep it for later. I think that would be a very small change, but would need me to test it. I'll keep it separate. What we'll do is we'll follow the design. Firstly, we'll be making this entire layout. Uh, yeah, so first we'll make the entire layout with a scrollable screen, and then we'll go over to building this background and all. Or should I just get the background first? What do you say? Should I just get the background first? Should be a simple change to do. So how I'm planning this is to be, we'll have mm, a div, a view for since we're using React Native, so we'll have a view. We'll have the height fixed. The background would be this, and then we'll have this card to have a minus empty, minus margin top. That would be doing it, but we can also position the background to be on the top of the screen. That can as well be done. There are two approaches to do this, and I do think that positioning it to the top of the screen would be a better idea for us, since I'm also thinking on iOS, since the pull down action cannot be stopped. So if we can reciprocate the entire background or expand the background over to those as well. So that is what my initial plan is. So Not right now, but before we launch, I'll try to expand this background image to an extent that even if I pull down, the blue interface still remains. That is what I am thinking right now. We can do it. I'll rather use this one right now. For now, at least. I'll position it to the top. We have a layer blur as well, you can see, but we do not need to put that manually because again, okay, so we go to the source assets, then we'll go to the explore screen. Acha, these I'll put in the home directory only. I'll do it later. I should ideally do it right now because keeping it for later would cause issues, but I'll do it after the stream, I guess, because refactoring is a really boring task to do. I'll rather do it VG vector. It is a vector, right? It is a vector. We we could have used that as well. What do you call it? Mm, SVGs as well. But since it is a lot visual first, so I am rather not using it. So we'll import. So just in case if you want reference, we can go back to the hero section that we had done. So this as well could have been on that, but it did not come to my mind back then, so I will not use it. We'll first import the image from Expo image. Then what we are being suggested is to do this. I think I'll copy it entirely because there's no point of doing it manually. The parent has got this, we don't need it. Overflow hidden is something. Acha, let me see what happens if I remove this. Acha, let's keep it for now. I'll definitely try that once. Uh, okay, this is hidden. We'll change it to explore. Uh, and that is how we are trying to do it. I think, yeah, this looks good for now. We'll remove the height 30. Relative can stay over here, would not be a problem. Uh, okay, so removing height 30 gave us an issue. Uh, how about defining it over the image? Because I would want a separate, I'll give it a relative as well. It stays within this. We would want it to be, yeah. So this looks good to me. If I give it a minimum height, I think that would be a better option. It this white interface is something I'm not liking, and we do not have on the design as well. So I'll just try to increase it for that matter because it really does not influence our app. So looks good for now. I'll just yet increase it to 50. So it is getting diluted. Let's keep it to 30. Let's keep it to 30 and let's see how we're dealing it in Figma. So we can give a layer blur as well, right? So it merges with the application. Uh, just I am Bob. So Bob, hello to you. Prijal, Prijal Art. Hello, brother. How are you? Good to see both of you. I'll just give it a layer blur for now. Okay. Instead of a layer blur directly, we can also do a different approach of defining a view and giving it a height and then making a transition from blue to, I think that would be done. So I'll just see if layer blur is a thing on like natively supported on Expo or not. Mm. Achha, we have the Explore Blur installed already. I think we can do this. Blur method. This is what I was trying to find out. We have a layer blur or not. How do we use layer blur in Expo? So again, we're trying to keep it as manual as possible. We are not very willing to use AI, but we will eventually use it at some point. So not a hard and fast thing, but I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. Blur, blur. Okay, how does it look? I am not sure of how to use it. Should I just wrap the component inside it or what? I've never used this blur view component. Okay, can give it something. Sorry. Ensuring the container has a position absolute. Okay, I'll have to read it. Style sheet still absolute fill. Oh, I see. It should have an absolute fill. Let me try it. So image source should have an absolute fill. The root as well should have an absolute fill. So as to be able to use that, right? Blur, blur. I'll give it an absolute fill by using the style style sheet dot style sheet dot absolute fill. Why is it not functioning? Style sheet. Does it need any import? Uh, does it need any import? Full object, I'm not sure. I've never used. I think we'll eventually have to read it only. Guessing would not work out over here. We can also do it like keeping the layer blur for the future. Let's do it like that. We can add the layer blur later on. It does not look bad, but it's not as appealing as I want it to be. So I would keep it for the future. Like after the stream or probably within the stream later on, I'll be adding that. Mm. All right, so we'll be importing the search component. We have the search already made since the home screen has it. Search, yeah, we have the search, and the search has both of these, so this is very good. I'll give this a minus empty. Does it support class names? I'm not sure. So we'll have to provision that as well then. Is a difficulty. Minus 10. Oh, okay, what is it? So yeah, this is good. We'll have to provision search as well. I mean, we'll have to provision that. Internal, yeah, this one. This is what I'm looking for. This works. Then we'll take it up to the top. So I think instead of this approach, that would have been much better of defining it as a background, right? I do think that that would be a lot better approach of defining it as a background to the hero of the about page. That would ideally make it look good. I should rather do that. So I'll be stopping the stream right now. I'll come back live later tonight with a research flow. I do think that I need to read the explore view a little. I'll read it and I'll like have my dinner and come back after a couple of hours.